everybody, how you doing? It is the interview that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for because you've been asking me and asking me once I told you that this person was coming. Joining me now is Towanda the Braxton Hall.
Hall.
Hall. Mrs.
Yes,
Hall.
Mrs. Hall.
Hello, Mrs. Hall.
Hi.
How you feeling? You look amazing,
Thank you, cousin. You do too. I feel amazing. I
as you should.
I'm in a different space than I was a few years, even just a few years ago, even a year ago. I'm just in a different space.
And what space is that? Let's
This
talk about it.
space is the space of joy, peace, um, and it's just like I think that when you get a little, oh, it's more than when you just get a little older. When you just get it, and I
Hmm
just think that I just get it now. You know, that's where I
So the Braxtons are back, as a number of you know,
am.
and let's talk about this new season. I will admit that I was a part of some of this, in that
Yes.
this is your bridal shower, this is your wedding,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
that's the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
are you looking forward to people seeing when they see the show?
Um, that whenever I do something, I put my heart in it, regardless on what it is. I put my
Mm-hmm.
heart in it. I give it 100%. Um, and I don't like failing at anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it is.
But here's the thing that I've come to realize: I don't like failing. I don't like losing. I don't like hard times. I don't like negativity. But I also have learned those were the places where I grew and learned the
Oh
most.
my gosh, yes.
They they are the places where I stretched. They
Mm-hmm.
are the places where I have clearer vision.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the places where I am stronger, so that when I move forward, the forward movement is very intentional.
Right. Exactly. And another thing is, I'm going to learn my lesson. I
Hmm
don't want to keep repeating the same lesson over and over again,
Right.
because you're going to do it with different faces, with different places and situations until you learn. And that's
hmm
where I am. I'm like, okay, what lesson do I have to learn from this? Okay, this is
Right.
the lesson in all of this.
Right.
Let me step back, let me pause, let me take a moment so
Yes.
I can realize what this is. And
Yes.
that's where I am.
You just had a birthday.
I did.
Talk about the birthday, because you had an
I
amazing
did have an
gathering.
amazing gathering. It was amazing. It was at Cirque, owned by Keisha, and she's a dear friend of mine, and Keon, Cakes by Keon, and Erica and Kia, and you were there, and MJ and Trina and Mommy, and of course my wonderful husband. And there were
Yes.
some people who actually flew in, like Denise, my soror that I've known since I
Yes.
was 14 years old, and she was
Yes.
also one of the caretakers for Tracy. She flew in. My friends from Virginia, the Boyds, they came, they drove all the way here from Virginia just to surprise me and then drove right back. I mean, that's love.
hmm
That's
It
love. Ryan
absolutely.
Cameron, I mean,
Yes.
Junior, everybody was there and it was just so wonderful.
Yes. How do you feel being celebrated in that way?
Um, it's a little uncomfortable.
Really? Why?
Yeah, a little uncomfortable because that's not, that has not been the norm
hmm
in my life.
hmm
That hasn't been
Yes.
the norm. But
Yes.
I will say now it is the norm. I just have to use that particular muscle that I have not been accustomed to in the past.
hmm
Yeah.
And using it, and accepting it and enjoying it. Okay, so look, I'm going to tell people one story, and then we're going to get off into the Braxton part. So this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I want to tell people that there was a time in my life when I had left television news, and
Mhm.
my life was really challenging because I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do next, and in that challenge, there was a financial hardship that I was experiencing that I did not share with anybody. I've told
Yeah.
this story on another podcast, but I wanted
Yeah.
to share it here as well. I was struggling and nobody knew it. And so this is one of the seasons of the Braxtons. I can't remember if you guys were ending or starting up, but I know you always went to Don Julio, and you invited me to come.
Yeah.
And at that time, we were having a good time. But what people did not know is that because I was having a financial hardship, buying food, buying gas, paying a mortgage, all of that stuff was so hard for me. But if you saw me, you would have never known, that I was going through anything. So we were wrapping up the dinner. I was going to the bathroom. I come back. There is $300 in my seat. Girl, I just broke out crying. And what made me start crying is when I came back to Wanda, the Braxton Hall, said to me, I don't know why, but God told me to give you this.
Mm-hmm.
And girl, I just started boo-hooing because I realized in that moment that God heard my prayer. And
Yeah.
even if you don't know who the blessing is coming from,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's coming. What made you do that? Because I don't know if I ever
I
asked you
just,
that.
you did, and I told you I have to be obedient.
Ah,
I just have to be obedient. If I hear, well, not if, when I hear the Spirit of God, or whenever I hear Him, I just move. I have to. And
hmm.
I don't want the other part of it happening to me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not
Uh-huh.
obedient, I
Right,
don't want that. I don't want a whipping. I don't want
right,
that. So
right.
I have to be obedient with any and everything. And I'm gonna just tell you, yesterday, when I was flying home, I was about to go to the Sky Lounge, and something just overwhelming feeling was like, because I can bring two people into the Sky Lounge with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, let me turn this. Sorry, there, that's better.
Is that a train?
So no, it's when I get a text message.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. No problem. Go
Yes,
ahead.
it's a train. So anyway, so I had this overwhelming feeling to invite someone into the Sky Lounge with me.
Mhm, mhm,
So I saw this young little couple. They were sitting outside of the gate because my flight was delayed. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I asked them, I said, hey, are you two together? And they were like, yeah. They said, well, are you at this flight? I said, yeah. They said, well, it's delayed like 35, 45 minutes. I said, yes. I said, have you ever been in the Sky Lounge? And they said, no. I said,
mhm,
come with me.
mhm.
And I took him to the Sky Lounge. And to me, that's also being obedient. If you get an
Yes.
overwhelming feeling of do this, you never know
Mm-hmm.
how you're going to bless somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I do. And a lot of people don't even know that I do things like that behind the scenes or behind
Yes.
closed doors or behind the camera because I don't need praise. I don't
Yes.
need a round of an applause
Yes.
because God already gives that to me.
Yes. Yes.
So I just keep moving forward with
Well, this
listening.
is this is why I wanted to bring this up because now we're going to talk a little bit more about the show. I posted something with me and Trina. We were,
Hmm.
talked about the show and
Hmm.
and posted it. And I, have done television for a long time, but being in social media, it's a completely different space.
Yeah,
So
it
I've had
is.
to learn how to
Mm-hmm.
curate my space,
Mm-hmm.
curate my followers,
Mm-hmm.
and curate comments.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did not like that I could feel stirring up in me is some of the comments that I saw about you, some of the comments that I saw about Trina.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't come in my house and
Right.
disrespect my guests. So
Right.
I either blocked them or deleted them. How have you been able to handle the kind of criticisms that I'm sure you get a whiff of
Oh
for
yeah.
this long?
It's a lot. However, they don't define who I am and what I do and how I
Mm-hmm,
move. So the main thing that I do is ignore and soar. So I delete, I block, and I just think that it's a sickness because
mm-hmm,
sometimes when I block some people, I see that they follow me. And
mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's a sick. If you don't like me, why are you following me?
Right,
Why are you
right,
watching me? You
right.
know? So I just they don't define who I am. They just get a small glimpse. It's not even they don't even get it.
Mm-hmm,
They get an edited version of who I am, or they
mm-hmm,
get an edited version of someone telling them how they should feel about me,
mm-hmm,
because they have never experienced me. So when they do, when there are some people who actually are able to sit down, have a conversation with me, or to experience me, they're like, ah, okay, I get it.
mm-hmm,
I get it, you know.
mm-hmm.
But it's not for them to get, honestly, to be honest with you. And then when you get a little older, you just don't give a fuck about nothing.
Absolutely, you sure don't. Oh
You
my
don't.
God.
You don't.
You don't.
I
You
have a
really don't.
song. I don't give a fuck. That's my song. Don't. I just don't. I don't. They don't
Yeah,
define. And I tell my
yeah,
daughter that all the time. She's at that age now,
yeah,
where people are criticizing and
yeah.
just throwing negative stuff to her and just trying to
Disparaging.
bring her down. I mean,
Yeah,
these are grown ups. These are grown
yeah.
adults.
Grown people.
Oh,
Yeah,
you see Tawanda's daughter. You know what? You do see my daughter, and guess where she is?
yes.
At a very talented number one art school, doing her
Mm-hmm.
damn thing, doing her damn
Flourishing,
thing, doing
doing
her
thoroughly
damn thing,
well.
believing in
Absolutely.
herself.
Absolutely. But that is something that you're going to have to consistently say to her because it's something we all had to
Yeah.
consistently say to ourselves until we got here.
Hmm.
Age, time,
Hmm.
experience teaches you
Hmm.
how to do that. So it's wonderful that you're undergirding her. Can we talk about where do you believe this whole ideology of you all being jealous of one particular sister? Where does that come from? Where is that
Um,
narrative?
if the narrative was planted to me,
Mm,
to the narrative, because that has never been, ever been anything in our family, ever.
mm-hmm.
And I, I don't know. It doesn't make sense because my thing is, and I'm just going to be blunt and honest, and transparent.
Yeah,
How can I be jealous of my youngest sister and not be jealous of Tony?
absolutely.
It doesn't make sense, people.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Think about things. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing, I mean, absolutely nothing that I
Mm-hmm.
want, need, or desire from anybody walking on this earth.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Here's another
Nothing.
thing that I mentioned too, because people like to really get into this gang posture of pitting sisters against each other, who's
Oh,
good,
yeah.
who's bad. And the
Yeah.
one thing that I made mention of, which I found people were deathly silent when I made this, but I'm going to say it again here. So when the show aired, one of the seasons, I do not recall, when Tamar was having issues or possibility of not being able to carry a child or even
Right.
have a child,
Hmm.
you were the main sister who came and said, if there is an issue, I
Hmm.
would be willing to carry it for my sister because I
Absolutely.
know she wants to have a child.
Absolutely. And I would
But
do it
people
again.
seem but
Absolutely.
but people seem to forget that.
Of course. They forget the good.
They
They
forget
forget
that.
the good. They forget the good and they dwell on the bad.
Absolutely. The
That's what
second
that
thing
is.
I will make mention of, everybody has seen the clip, several clips, but one
Hmm.
particular clip where Tamar is throwing water, and you can clearly see that it is in your direction,
Yeah.
which I believe is meant to hit you,
Of course.
and you move. And
Hmm.
then people try to equate that to the time where you were upset with your family because nobody was caring about you, and you never threw the water in
At
anyone's
anybody.
direction.
No. No.
So, how is it that people cannot see? Because I bring that up too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people still are like,
Yeah, of course.
and I'm like, really?
Do you know what? That whole reaction to
Really?
me is the state of the world even now, what's happening now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You believe whatever narrative you want to believe because that's
Mm-hmm.
where what you want to believe. You want to
Mm-hmm.
believe a negative narrative, and that's where you
If
are.
you want to see the rest of the interview that I did with Towanda Braxton, it is exclusive on my Patreon. And don't forget, the interview with Trina Braxton is also on my Patreon. Okay, check it out. Bye.